So in this video, we are going to start transforming our images, and we will make it as practical as possible.
This video is brought to you by Adobe Academy.
So let's say that we want to add a white border, like a frame around our image. And there's like probably 1,000 ways of how we can do it, but I want to show you how we can do it with only the tools and the techniques that we just learned. We didn't learn many techniques, but the techniques we already learned will actually allow us to make some pretty nice things with this image. So first I'm going to go to the background layer like so, and I am going to fill it with the white color. So I'm simply going to press and hold down the Control or Command if you're on a Mac, and then press the backspace, and you can see that right now my background thumbnail actually is changed to white, and we actually filled our background with the background color. So right now I'm going to move to my background copy layer, and by the way, this is actually an important thing about Photoshop, because Photoshop follows a layer first, the tool second rule. So in order to actually manipulate or adjust any layer, first you need to have it selected. You can use the auto select option right here, so whenever you have your move tool on and you have your auto select option on, you can actually click on your image in order to select some object, but that works not that efficient as it does inside Illustrator. So I think it's better to simply select the layer and then the object with a certain tool. So right now that I have my background copy layer selected, I want to do something about my image. So with the move tool, I can just move it around, and you can see right now that our background is being we can see the color of our background right now, but we can't actually resize the image with the move tool. Nor can we do that with any of the path selection tools right now, right here, as we would inside Illustrator. What we actually have to do is, with the layer selected, go to the Edit menu, and then we have to go to Free Transform option, and I think it's best to simply use Control or Command T shortcut on your keyboard. So I'm going to go with the Control T. I'm gonna go with the Free Transform, and as you may notice, we got some manipulation control points being displayed right here, and they're the same as they would be, as they are inside Illustrator. And actually, quite a lot of the same rules apply here inside Photoshop when transforming images, so as they do in Illustrator. So for instance, if I simply hold down the Shift key and now click and drag, you can see that I am constraining the proportions of my image and my fish as well. Of course, I can go up like so, but as you can see, we are not moving our image outside our canvas, so our image is constrained to the canvas, and we will talk about it in a later video. So I'm holding down the Shift key to constrain the proportions. But what if I want to actually create the frame, and I want to create it in one take or in one click? Well, all we need to do is to simply add the Alt or Option, if you're on a Mac, key to our transformation. So if I now just press and hold down the Alt key, you can see that I am actually creating or changing the size of the image starting from its center point. So and right now I am actually creating the frame that I was looking for, just like so. And by the way, you can see these options right here. And of course, in order to accept or decline our transformation, all we need to do is to simply press this check mark or the return on our keyboard. So I'm simply going to press it, and right now I got my image resized. So again, I'm going to press the Control or Command if you're on a Mac plus T, and I'm back again in the Free Transform mode. And of course, I can rotate my image around. If I just click and drag by one of these corners right here, I can of course maybe distort it just like so if I want to, because you can see that right now we don't have this like angled arrows. We just some simple straight arrows, so we can manipulate the image just like so. But I don't want to distort it, so I'm simply going to cancel out. I'm going to go back again to the Free Transform tool by pressing the Control key, Control plus T on my keyboard. And by the way, notice that right now I can, if I just right click on my image or Command click if you're on a Mac, like so, I'm actually going to have some other well, manipulation options that I can that I can choose from. So I simply can flip my image horizontally just like so, so I can make it well, swim in the other direction, and I can flip it vertically. If I want to swim it upside down, why not? It can be like that. I'm gonna go back to the original view, and if you need some creative transformations, creative manipulations, you can always press and hold down the Control or Command key on your keyboard, grab any of these corner points, click and move to distort it, to distort your image just like so. And if you hold down the Shift key, you will distort it proportionately. And if you hold down the Alt key as well, you will distort it from the center point. So I am using almost all of my fingers right now on my left hand. I'm pressing and holding down the Control, the Shift, and the Alt keys together to distort my image just like so. If I want to, I can go really, really crazy with the image, and you can go crazy with your image if you want to. So again, let me just repeat all the information that we actually just learned. So in order to transform your image, to change its size, to rotate it, to manipulate, to flip it, we need to go to the Edit menu and then Free Transform, or better yet, use the Ctrl+T shortcut on our keyboard. And right now I can change the size of the fish, and if I hold down the Shift key, I'm going to constrain the proportions of my transformation. And if I press and hold down the Alt key together, I am going to transform my image from its center point. If I right click on the image right now, I can rotate it if I want to. I can flip it horizontally, I can flip it vertically if I want to. So remember that you need to have your Free Transform tool active, and then you can right click or command click on the image if you are working on a Mac. And if you are gonna want to go really crazy with your transformation, if you want to distort your image, simply press and hold down the Control or Command key on your keyboard in order to manipulate the perspective and to distort your image just like so. So there you go. These are the most important, the easiest as well, ways of manipulating or changing the image or the size of your image. There is one more thing to understand about manipulation images inside Photoshop, and it's the relation between the image and the canvas it's sitting on. And that's quite an important relation, and it's something that we are going to actually talk about in the next video.